Now I'm going to show you how to build a perfect login page from scratch using Flutter and Dart. As you see in the screenshots displayed here, it's a login page which runs both on iOS and Android, and it's kind of a perfect login page. When I mean perfect, means it works on all kind of devices. For example, a small iOS to big Android phones. Um, and it also has a validation. It has when you tap on this email or password, it also scrolls up and down. Yeah, having said that, let's go into the real programming and let's build this from scratch. All right, so I'll just open my Android Studio. I will just name it a login app, or yeah, login demo app, for example. It should be small. Yeah, so let's run this. The first project, let's see what happens. No device attached. Let's open one iOS device. Yeah, so here we see it ran, and the default layout is displayed. Now we don't need these things, so let's get rid of this whole thing here. We don't need it. And we will define our own screen. We don't even need this. So we need to build very much similar to this thing here. So we just apply a theme, a kind of orange theme, and we will divide this into three sections. The first section is with the logo here. Second section will be the login page, which is in the middle, and the last section will be the login button, which is at the bottom. So our layout, what I thought of the best layout is, let's divide into three things: the upper part, and the middle, and the lower part. And let's see how we can achieve this. All right, coming back to this code, um, we will I will just go and create a screen. For example, just name it a directory called let's have a package, and just name it as screens for now. And in this package, let's create one class called login screen class. Here we'll create an stateful widget screen of login screen, and this, just name it as login screen. We don't need this, and just do Option Alt in Mac to get this material design, so the all error will go away. Yeah, and here we are going to say that this is not our home screen. Now login screen is our home screen, and now it has turned black. So usually when we define main screen, a kind of a view controller in iOS programming or activity, we here call it a scaffold. So let's go and create one scaffold. And so now we see a white. Now this is scaffold. Now we have to keep in mind that we need to design something like this. All right, so what I think is, let's have three different parts, like upper parts, middle parts, and the lower part. And for that, the best choice is column, and and the body will be column. Nothing changes. Let's put this away. Now columns has children's, and I'm going to build first the upper part. So I'm not going to write here. I will just create a separate method and say build upper container. And this container will have this will have um, the background container, and this will contain image. So the best way is to do is over a stack. So what does a stack do? It places widget one upon the other. So the widget here is the container, and I want container to have an image. So here a stack makes really sense. So let's go and take a stack. It, and stack will have a children again, and the container I'm going to take here, just the container, and let's give width to this container, since the container expand to the whole screen. So let's take a container to this whole width. So media query gives us the width of the device. So I'm going to use media query here, size and width. Then let's say that I have a height of 300. So height goes to 300, and the background color is supposed to be the orange kind of color. So just take one of the color from the orange. So let's just put here, call this one build container, and let's save it. Let's see what hot reload does first. Okay, nothing comes. I see an issue here. Yeah, issue is this one. Yeah, yeah, let's see, the background has appeared, and yeah, now now let's put image over it. To add image into the project, I will go and create a folder called and here I'm going to add the images, and I have kept it here somewhere. Let's drag and drop these images into this images of directory, and they are there. This pub spec images, we have to enable it. Let's add that images is that go green. Yeah, so you see that the image has come here, but it's not center. So let's put it in the center. Top padding. So let's give a top padding to this, and it gives padding of 8 all the sizes, but we don't need all the sides. We just need top padding, and this top padding will do our work. For example, top, and give that padding as, for example, 90. We are done with the upper part. Let's go ahead and do this. I want this pin middle of all the devices. So the trick is here that when you want this in the middle, you need to use some kind of expandable widget which expand and then put center widget to it. So let's use the expand widget here, expanded. So what does the beauty of expanded is that this expands throughout how much it has, whatever height it has. So it just goes from the very starting point to the end. It occupies, takes the whole space it needs. Expanded widget here, and expanded widget will have a child, and this child I am going to create now, and there's an error, so let's forget it. Let's create a middle container, for example. And the middle container, it returns column here, and this column will, well, we'll put all those things in this column. Called, now here we need to find middle container. Yeah, so but here we need a styling. Want this column to start from the center of the expanded widget. So I'm going to set its main columns main axis, and also I'll just set a cross alignment to stretch so that it expands to whatever space it has in the width. So look, it has come in the center, started, and I want this to move away up here. This is a space, so of course we'll give a padding to it. Let's add a padding, and I just want only as left side, so I will just define left. Now next one, I need a text field. Since I want validation also, I will not go for the text field. I will take text form field. So I can take leverage of validations and other stuff, the form. So let's take a text form field, appears another text form field for the password. Would type equals to text input. Action. Next, so that it displays the next, so it can go to the password. Let's add some decoration to it. Input decoration and label text. Let's give it a 16. Looks better. Let's give some background color filled with colors dot grayish, and that's not full grayish but some percentage of grayish. Filled, yeah, let's fill it. It's true. And filled color, we will give it as grayish. Yeah, it filled now. And let me provide some padding to this one. And I want the padding to left and right, so for example, let's give 28. Yeah, and there should be a gap. Size box, for example, let's give it 20. Of course, height. So let's do it. Add a padding to it. Copy this one. Yeah, this one. Everything from here till there. No. Let's copy this. And let's copy whatever inside text field. This one, but we need some padding. We need some space between both the fields. So let's add size box. Of course, height is 20. We'll get it here. Scatters true. This should be a password Yeah, and if you see this screenshot, it has icons. They are called prefix icons in Flutter. So let's put that one. Images. Yeah, those has come now. On color theme here. I don't want this. I want this to be orange. Folder will have a color here. Background color. Let's the background color be colors dot orange is our theme. Let's give it a 50. Well, one, we created this. Now we have to create the last part of this button, login button. Let's be a raise button. With now the raise button has come. There we can see. Let's give a text to it. That the label. Name it login. And the style. Let's give the background color orange. Maybe 400. Yeah, this will be disabled until unless you provide the callback to it. Yep. Okay, so no, but I want this to stretch to some extent, not to be this tiny. So when we want to stretch a raised button, we have to wrap it inside a size box and give some height and some width. So let's wrap this into a size box. New widget. And let's width be, for example, whole stretching width. So you see it will stretch. It's stretched. And let's give some height to this one. And that is some around 44. So I'll just give right now here padding. And I will give padding to left, right, and bottom. Only. Yeah, it looks cool here. So now we have achieved this one button. Apply a safe area to this column. So if you see that it has gone up, but I don't want top. Good. And Now we are very much done with this login page UI. Now if I click on this email text field and enable this keyboard, physical keyboard, hardware, toggle, you can see that it's broken. Even it's not scrolling. And also if I tap on this, it's not getting dismissed. Now when I want that keyboard to be dismissed, on the tapping anywhere on this screen it should dismiss. We should add a gesture detector. So gesture detector should be on the top of the scaffold of here. I'll just go and add gesture detector, new. And when I added a gesture detector, I want to dismiss the keyboard. Now to dismiss the keyboard, we have to have a focus node. This gesture detector has method on top, and I'm just going to call one method which is still not hide keyboard, for example. Hide keyboard. And this key keyboard, what this will do is this will simply dismiss the keyboard. So to dismiss the keyboard, we need to have the focus scope. No, yeah. So how will I get it? So there is one focus scope node. I'll use this one. I'll grab the current focus and focus scope dot of context. I got the focus node, and if this has a primary, current focus has primary, just do it unfocus. So now see what happens. The keyboard has appeared. I tap anywhere, keyboard disappeared. Appeared anywhere, disappeared. But you see it's broken here. Now to fix this broken, uh, this is the part where I got stuck. So we need to kind of have a scrolling mechanism where this view get scrolls up, and it doesn't break if it's a small device or big device. For that, we need to add single child scroll view. But now when you use an expanded widget, then single child scroll view doesn't work because it doesn't know how much to expand. So what I did a research, and I found out that we need to use a layout builder and put the constraint and provide some eccentric height. And when you do that, it works fine. So let's make this happen. Yeah. Okay. So what I do is I have this safe area. First, I'm going to put that safe area into a single child in a single child scroll view. So when I put in a single child scroll view, everything is vanished because of expanded. When you add expanded, single child view is broken. Now for that, the solution is we have to add the whole our widget, wrap it into a layout builder. So layout builder will give us a constraint, and we use that constraint to define how much space we have, and if it shrinks, it is becomes scrollable. So let's wrap this into um, a layout builder expects, and this will provide us but there's nothing here. We need to return. Yeah, now we added the layout builder. In this layout builder we will put this into a container box, and in this constraint box has constraints and a box. We need to provide a box constraint. Minimum width constraints dot max width and max height constraint dot max height. Yeah, it's came here. Now still something is to be done here. Still it did not work. For this safe area we need to add this into an eccentric height. Eccentric height, and this height I need to define this column to be of min axis size equals to axis size dot max. So when you give that, that's minimum height of this constraint will be the maximum of this height, so it aligns properly. And when you see here, look, it's nice now. It's again here is better. And when you tap here, it dismisses. And if you observe that, yeah, all right. So we are very much done with this one. Now the last part is we need to do a validation kind of stuff. But there's one problem here. Look, if you see this, not here, save it. And if you click this, this kind of the login button and the for password text field kind of stick to each other. So avoid that size box between this and now if you see, if I do this, there will always be some space here because I've added this one. This is pretty well. Okay, so next topic I will jump on is this validation. So when I tap login here, nothing happening. I want to show to the user that your email is empty, your password is empty, or further validations, however you want. So let's add a validation. We need to add a form. So this should be a kind of a form to me. This should be is a kind of a form widget. So let's add in a form widget quickly. And form widget has some key. Okay, let's define a global form widget key. Now this form needs a key. I'll provide this form key here. Now, since I have already declared this as a form field, this comes with a validator. And here in the validator is a callback which receives a value, and what do you want to return? If something went wrong, then return null. If everything went well, return null, else to return the message what do you want to display here. Yeah, so let's put return if value is empty. Then please provide email address, else null, and I'm going to use same validator here. If please provide password. So whenever I do a login, I must validate. So here is the event for the login on press, and what we have to do is on that is that we have a form key, and the form key I want to current state and I want to validate if everything looks fine. Let's see how it works. Boom, it came here. So if I put here something and I put here something and I say validate, it works fine. And let's see how this looks on Android. Let's open one Android. Yeah, it launched. Let me select that Android, and oh, this looks cool on Android too. Yeah, so it looks both pretty good on both the devices, Android and iOS. Hope we learned something today, and yeah, as usual, please do like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.